Inday madadaarin, day sidarin day kud kaalegan. Au dandang kud kalina, serta makapegahan ko. Au makapeg anduloy kusuga gabi kasianan.
Namalinandang, I am Dato Lanelio T. Sangkuan, Chief of Higaonon tribe in Rogongon, Iligan City. I live at the foot of Mount Gabunan Sacred Forest together with the 50 clans. We have lived here since time immemorial. I am the protector of the forest and the tribes together with the elders to ensure the next generation can continue our cultural tradition from our ancestors. But our cultural traditions are threatened by the business opportunities for logging, mining, and real estate. Outsiders are buying the forest, and most of the tribal leaders are disillusioned by money the company offered. Now we are on the brink of losing the 100 hectares of the sacred forest.
I'm Peter. I'm a 24-year-old son of two loving parents from the Netherlands, and I grew up in a family with 3 brothers and 2 sisters. I was taught that doing good for other people is one of the greatest privileges a man can have. I believe we're all connected with other people, animals and nature in general. But I feel we're losing this connection more and more. This is why I bought the forest for Datu and his people. I traveled to Mindanao a while after buying the sacred forest. I had seen it as an investment with cultural capital and natural capital as invaluable returns, and I wanted to meet Datu and the tribal elders and see the rainforest, which is the center of our collaboration. Mindanao is under martial law, a state of emergency that was called off when in the city of Marawi, 2 hours away from the forest, a 5-month-long armed conflict arose between Philippine government forces and militants affiliated with ISIS. The strong mental support of my brother Michael and the enthusiasm about the project from people around me strengthened me in the choices I made. Besides, I would be under continuous protection of Datu and his tribal warriors. Once I had seen the rainforest, I was incredibly happy with the returns my investment made. The Higaonon are people of the wilderness. They live in 4 different barangays with a community of about 10,000 people. The Higaonon believe that their ancestors survived the great floods, as did Noah with his ark elsewhere. I was amazed by the beauty and the enormous diversity of the forest. The loud but peaceful sounds of the waterfalls and the rivers that provide clean drinking water to the people, were harmonizing the sounds and silence of pure nature. The giant lawan trees must have stood there for a few lifetimes. Other trees provide an indigenous fruits, and the belite trees are the dwelling places of the ancestral spirits.
The tribal leaders that sell their lands are called tribal dealers. They are convinced to sell their lands because they think that the money offered by the companies and investors can guarantee food security and family survival. However, the family then displays and have no assurance for a long-term sustainable future. The tribal council decided to purchase the remaining sacred mountains to save the tribes, the sacred forest, and its wildlife. Land acquisition is the only way to stop environmental destruction and displacement of indigenous peoples. With the tribes and its defenders, I want to protect the future of our lands, our cultures, and the ecosystem.
Each time we went to the forest, a ritual offering would be done, led by the tribal elders. They asked permission to Makbabaya, the Almighty Creator, to the protectors of the water, the forest, the waterfalls and the caves, and to Apo Tominoko, the survivor of the great floods, for us to go there. They prayed for safety and security. The area of the sacred forest is rich in gold, copper and other minerals. Mining companies visit the area regularly and buy land of tribal dealers. For businessmen, the area is also interesting for logging, real estate and coconut plantations. At several places in the sacred forest we found traces of illegal mining activities. One of them in Sagiaan, this sacred cave. The Iponan River used to be heavily polluted because of mining activities. Due to the work of the local Environment and Resource Office, the situation is much better now. Though the threat stays and the power of the companies is huge. In 2014, 2 anti-mining activists, former miners and one of them being a tribal leader from the Higaonon, were killed.
If we don't manage to save the sacred forest of Mount Gabunan, this will lead to the end of a tribal culture. The forest is the foundation of a tribal belief. Nature destruction will lead to tribal extinction. We're grateful that our brother from Netherlands bought 50 hectares of the sacred forest and wants to help us to acquire the other half too. It's magic, mystery, and miracle. Acquiring the sacred forest would create safe place for the wildlife. We can preserve the sacred forest and continue our tribal belief based on nature connectivity. Our young tribal bearers will experience the importance of preserving our ancestral lands for cultural survival.
Recently, I came across a quote of Gus Speth. He says, "I used to think the top environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse and climate change. I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address those problems. But I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed and apathy. And to deal with those, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation. And we scientists don't know how to do that."